Welcome, dear friends. Today we start a new lecture, Traditional Techniques for Food Preparation and Preservation. This is Banu Avcıoğlu, and I will try to present you this lecture. Let's start with some definitions and list some methods for food preparation and preservation. Preparation of food is to make the food edible, in other words, suitable for human consumption. Preservation of food is to prevent the food from spoilage and contamination. Food preparation and preservation are overlapping concepts, such that many of the techniques make the food both edible and preserved from spoilage. Therefore, we are going to present food preparation and preservation techniques together. Spoilage is a kind of decomposition. The food we eat is a dead organism or an organic product like slaughtered animal, milk, or a fruit plucked from a tree. Decomposition is the breakdown of dead bodies into simple chemical components such as carbon dioxide, water, simple sugars, and minerals. As providing nutrient cycling, decomposition is one of the main processes in ecosystems. Food spoilage, which is a kind of decomposition, can occur through a physical, chemical, and biological mechanisms. Usually, these mechanisms operate at the same time, with synergy during the spoilage of food material. Physical damage disrupts the integrity of food and makes it open to contamination, increases chemical spoilage rates, and becomes undesirable for consumption. Disruption of fruit skin by insects or cracking eggshell are examples for physical damage. Chemical spoilage is self-destruction of food by its own components, that is, interaction of its own chemicals and enzymes. The main types of chemical spoilage are rancidification and browning. Rancidification occurs due to enzymatic or non-enzymatic chemical reactions such as oxidative degradation, light-triggered free radical oxidation, or hydrolysis of fats and oils into their components. Rancid vegetable oils have an off flavor and taste. Rancidification occurs rapidly when food is exposed to air, light, or moisture. Similarly, browning of foods occurs via enzymatic, that is, oxidative enzymes, or non-enzymatic reactions, that is, caramelization and Maillard reactions, producing brown pigments. Rapid browning of cut apple is a well-known example of enzymatic browning. Oxygen, heat, and moisture are also factors affecting the rate of browning. Some controlled rancidity and browning produce desirable changes in food. For example, as you see, some cheeses become aged and become delicious via rancidity processes. As you can see, also enzymatic browning of tea, coffee, caramelization of sugars in some desserts, and browning of bread crust due to Maillard reaction occurring at high temperatures are some desired flavor effects of browning in foods. Biological spoilage is the action of microorganisms on food. Bacteria and fungi, which are molds and yeast, grow in the food. They break down and utilize nutrients of the food via their enzymes and change the food into a state unsuitable for it. The action of microorganisms not only produces foods with an unpleasant taste, odor, or texture, it can also threaten one's health. Pathogenic bacteria themselves or their toxins produced during their growth in the food can make a person sick. Again, some actions of microorganisms in food may be desirable, such as lactic acid bacteria or yeast that ferment various food materials and result in desirable food products. In brief, food spoilage or decomposition rate depends on temperature, oxygen, that is air, water, that is humidity, composition of the food, the microflora, that are microorganisms of the surrounding environment, and time. Any food preservation method should cope with these factors, so traditional methods are not different. Having said that spoiled food is not good for human health, there are also some food materials which are not safe to eat unless some actions are taken. Some plants and even some animals are potentially toxic or have toxic parts when eaten without preparation. As you see in photos, for example, eating kidney beans without cooking, eating seeds of some stone fruits like apricots, cherries, and bitter almonds, and eating Japanese delicacy fugu fish prepared by an untrained chef can make you sick, even dead. Some foods are potentially allergic. As you know, milk, eggs, fish, peanuts, wheat, and soybeans. Some preparation methods like fermentation of milk may reduce its allergens.